Yes. Conversations. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Friday. It's going down. First Sky Omaha Radio. What's going on, 630 crew? Tell me how the mix was. Hey, time to get up and move your body. Good morning, good morning. What's happening? What's happening?
Check. This thing going?
What's going on, Pops? Good Friday morning, First Sky fam and squad. Sending you all mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate that, Pops. Good morning to you. Thanks for getting up so early. It'll be dark when you get up and check us out. That's what's going on. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
What's going on, y'all? It's going to be a day. We got some things going on today. Be sure to tune in, share the show. How you feeling over there, buddy?
Tired, boss.
Be tired. Good morning, Wanda Lewis. Good morning to you as well.
Hey.
Shout out to the ghost listeners rolling in. What's happening Friday, the 2nd of September already.
Man.
Crazy. I said dark and will be for a while. Yeah. West Coast, y'all got to get up early in the morning to check us out. Messing with y'all sleep schedules.
Man. Yeah, I gotta get my sleep schedule back in order, man. This ain't it. This ain't
it, huh?
Tired, boss. But TGIF, thank God it's Friday.
There you go. 6 minutes, buddy. Fresh here on. On. What's going on, Rose Reviews? Mark Matter gives us good morning. Holiday weekend, so no good new releases to listen to. Thankfully, you're on.
Hey.
It's time to dig back.
Yeah, man. Glad to be on.
Glad to be on, too.
Man, but, you been listening to that new Danger Mouse and Black Thought?
Yeah, you know.
Come on, man. Got the MF Doom verse on there.
Come on, man. Black Thought is one of my top 3, bro.
Yeah, man. That album is going crazy.
And yes, Danger Mouse. That's a dream duo right there.
Man. Yeah. If you haven't checked that out, Mark Manor, I'm pretty sure you have. But, maybe go listen to that again.
Man, dude. Yeah. Gotta reach back. Stacey Jean says, good morning, First Sky Omaha family and friends. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Hey.
Lots happening this weekend, that's for sure.
Man, especially tomorrow. Jam-packed day. You got no reason to stay in the house.
Don't make no reason. Mark Matter says that's our number 1 album at Homer's right now. People are loving it. Whoa, I'm glad to hear that.
Man, it's happening. It's happening.
Super dope. How's Dami and JD Beck doing over there at the store?
Man, yeah, y'all got some of that over there.
That's the one too. Rose Review says, Ive T and Evil E is my dream duo. You talking about Ice T and Evil E? The dream duo. Brother Valentine, good morning, fam. What's happening, Brother Valentine?
Hey.
Also, Carolyn Jack gives us a good morning. What's happening, Purple fam? This is the 9th anniversary of the legendary Prince versus Michael Jackson battle that happened at the House of Loom.
Ah, okay. I was about to say, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that was one of my debut DJing gigs there. So, needless to say, Prince won.
Man. Rest in peace, House of Loom.
Man, rest in peace, House of Loom. That was the joint.
Yeah, I even got down there a couple times.
You know, there's some stuff happening around town, man. That's like bringing that vibe back. That's for real.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, you know, if you still going out getting busy, what you got to do sometimes, you got to go out there and shake the dust off a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, every once in a while, gotta cut a rug, you know.
You cut a little rug. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Bee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, where we try to make it so that you cut a little rug in the morning when you're getting up listening to your stuff. So that's what's up. Shout out to the 630 crew over there. Let me know how the mix was this morning. You can go to firstsky.omaha.com, hit the listen button. 24/7 celebration of Black music and all kinds of good stuff over there as well. So definitely check that out when you get a chance. And if you ever are not sitting in front of your computer and need to check out the show, we go live over there too. We're also live on Facebook. If you are on Facebook checking our show out, please do us a favor and share the show. Love for us to get as many people in talking as we can. We are also live on YouTube, so thanks for everybody that's on YouTube hanging in there with us and growing that audience as well. Appreciate you. We're also live on Twitter, if that is something that you like to do too. Increasing the activity on Twitter a little bit, just because people like to get a little bit of news and headlines and stuff over there, and there's still a lot of people on Twitter. So
yeah, man.
So check it out. Paul Phelan has a good morning. Has some sunshine for us. Appreciate you. Good morning to you. Laura Lynette says good morning. Good morning to you as well. Thanks for everybody getting up so early and joining us.
Yeah,
buddy, how you feeling this morning? You said you was tired, huh?
Yeah, man. Couldn't really sleep. A lot of tossing and turning last night. So looking forward to a siesta after the show. Not gonna lie, try to squeeze in some winks.
Bro,
catch
see,
a couple more.
That's why I got respect for you, bro. You a young man that has already understand the power of the nap during the day.
Oh yeah. Definitely, man. When I'm DJing and working in the studio till like sometimes 3-4 o'clock in the morning, man. That midday nap goes a long way, my brother. It goes a long way.
Took me a long time to get to that point where I figured that out. I'll just be.
Oh, you know, I'm a quick learner.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
Doing okay. Not too bad. Looking forward to the weekend. I'm gonna definitely try to hit some of these things this weekend. Namely the Amber Ruffin shows that are happening tomorrow night at the Benson Theater. Amber's in town. Big, making a big splash. Was on the front of the newspaper this morning. You know, with Amber and Lacey doing their thing. So it's always
making rounds.
It's always a good time hanging with them. It's always a gut busting good time. So it'll be you know, a margarita drinking good time happening this weekend.
Oh man, sounds like I'm coming to Friday too late.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Man, actually we'll be talking about Amber Ruffin here in a second, man. Already making her round, so definitely big shout out to her, giving back to the community. It's a beautiful thing. Please make sure you know if you got the time, got the opportunity, got the space, make sure you go out and check her out and support. Was it the Benson Comedy Fest? Is that
no, it's not Benson. It's the Omaha Comedy Fest. It's pretty huge.
Oh, okay.
It actually started on Thursday, and there's 2 shows. Some's going on tonight. 2 shows going on tonight, and then 2 shows going on tomorrow night. And the 2 shows tomorrow night are the ones that Amber Ruffin is going to be on. So, yeah.
Okay. Also remember there will be that event tonight with Precious McKesson. They will be having that. And that tonight the kickback with Amber Ruffin, Precious McKesson.
Was it tonight or was it last night?
I think it's tonight. Okay. Let's go ahead and fact check. We will have our extended haps coming in. So yeah, if you have some details on that, please do let us know. Also, before we get things going, because we do have a few guests coming through today, I do want to remind people that Sister E, Miss Erica Felt, is in recovery on the back track, if you will. So definitely support her. We still have that meal train going out. Still, if you're eligible or able or willing to do so, definitely look into that. You can either provide a meal, so you can sign up for a meal, or you can just provide some money. There is a way to just donate to the cause, but the link is in the chat. Big shout out to everyone who has helped with that, and just big shout out to Miss E again, recovering from her surgery, sidelined for a little bit, had to close her business even. So yeah, looking forward to being able to support her and help out one of the chat chimers, man. We really are a family here, so we appreciate everyone who's in the chat, all the ghost listeners who's helping as well, man. We know you out there. We see you too. We see you too.
We got some special guests coming in the house today. We've been talking about this for a while.
Man.
We finally got a hold of thanks to Precious McKesson, as a matter of fact, Terrell Mckinney and Justin Wayne. They're going to come in and talk to us today a little bit about some of these things we've been talking about with the ARPA funds. And we want to try to get our facts straight and figure out where the money's going and how it's going to be doled out, so on and so forth. So we'll be talking to them today. Also, we'll also have a special guest. Calvin Williams is coming in today, and he's going to talk about one of the events that's happening tomorrow night, this music fest that's going down, Labor Day weekend music at the mall with Takis and Carl Thomas and a bunch of other artists. So he'll come in and talk about that a little bit today as well. And like we said, extensive haps today because there's a lot going on this weekend. So get your haps ready too. Let us know what some of the things are that you want to do and get busy with. And of course, don't forget Amber Ruffin's going. We can't forget our girls in town, and that's what's going on. It's always a good time when she's around. She's going to be at the Benson Theater, and coming back from Omaha Comedy Fest. So it's going down. It's going down this weekend.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend as well. So yeah, if you have any events, anything is going on in your world, feel free to drop that into the chat, and we'll try to get to that. But speaking of get to things, we do have some other topics to dive into today, not just speaking with our guests, but looking at a few things happening in our backyards and really across the country, especially looking at OPS. Apparently, there's been a few guns recovered from a few OPS schools, so we'll dive into that. Actually, a few parents getting some letters and things like that. So we'll look at exactly what's going on with that. Also, speaking of letters, man, a few teachers have sent in some concerning letters of their own after receiving their stipend checks, but not quite as much as they were hoping. Again, if you remember, we reported that OPS will be sending out stipends to help stem off or help to support these teachers. Again, this is coming on the heels of that mass exodus of teachers, hundreds of teachers choosing to resign or to retire early. So again, we'll dive into that situation. Also, speaking of resigning and retiring, head of Nebraska Corrections Scott Frakes has announced that he will also be retiring. Again, Nebraska still has the second most overcrowded prison system in the country, still dealing with the overcrowding emergency, a federal overcrowding emergency. And yet they're sending this guy off with high praises. So I definitely want to talk about that and more coming up. Also, a big shout out to Byron Allen. Speaking of high praises, I want to give him his flowers while you can still smell him doing big things and trying to give a voice. Again, if you don't know Byron Allen, the owner of Allen Media Group, no relation to Paul Beee.
No.
But he is maybe. But he is the owner of one of the largest, if not the largest, African-American owned media company in the country. He owns the Weather Channel and now just struck a big deal with CBS to give HBCUs some love. So we'll talk about that and more throughout the show. Of course, if there's anything on your hearts, your minds that you would like to discuss, maybe we're missing the mark on something, or maybe we've just missed completely an event, definitely feel free to drop that into the chat. Again, we can't have our eyes everywhere, man, but we do appreciate those who have dropped stories in the Friends of First Sky Omaha page. That is a big help. So if you are not a member or are not a part of that group, definitely check us out. Again, that's Friends of First Sky Omaha on Facebook. You can also check us out at firstskyOmaha.com/donate if you would like to support monetarily what it is that we're doing here. This endeavor, this group conversation, as we like to call it, again here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. Shout out to all the new listeners, first time and last time listeners. Been seeing a lot of new names in the chat. So yeah, let's keep it coming. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Let's get this chat going. In the meantime, in between time, Paul Beee, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Let's go.
Let's do it. What up? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd. All of you, the chat chimers, all of you, the ghost listeners, we really appreciate everybody who joins in on this conversation. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor and share the show on your page so we can get as many people talking as possible. And if you're on YouTube, do us a favor and do the same thing. Share the show. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Really appreciate it if you did that. You can also do that on Twitter if you happen to be watching us over there. Shout out to the 630 crew who's listening to us on First Sky Omaha Radio. Really appreciate you tuning in on that side of things as well. If you happen to not be able to be sitting in front of your computer or your phone for the live stream, you can listen to us on firstskyOmaha.com. Hit the listen button, and we're going live over there as well. So appreciate it very much. We do have some special guests coming in the house today. Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne. Put some respect on their names. They're going to come in and we're going to talk a lot about what's going on with the ARPA funds, get our facts straight, and get busy with that. Shout out to Precious McKesson for helping to hook that up as well. Paul Philman in the chat says Terrell McKinney can update prison overcrowding and the director's retirement as well. So we can get some first-hand information on some of the stories that we're talking about today. And also a last announcement, don't forget we have an extensive HAPS happening later on today. So definitely get your HAPS together so we can talk about that a little later on in the show. Lots going on this weekend, Labor Day weekend. Let us know what you got going on. Your plans are. We can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, where the cookouts at? Where the cookouts at?
Please let us know where the cookouts are. We need to know this. Roll Review says two new subscribers up from 137 to 139. Steadily creeping up over there on YouTube. Appreciate that.
Slow and steady.
Man. Appreciate all the work that you do too, brother Mayor Sanchez, on trying to help us boost our numbers over there on YouTube. Appreciate that. In the meantime, man, 717, if you believe in the concept of time, that is, if actually really what it is once upon a time called now. So here we are. What's going on, buddy? What's on your mind?
Man, letting the people know what's kicking off at OPS. Again, season 4, Follow the Money, is the theme of this season. And some teachers try to figure out what happened to their money, man. Again, we reported earlier this year that OPS announced that they will be breaking off what teachers they do have left with the stipend. Actually, for the next 2 years, full-time staff were expected to get, again, I said expected to get $4,500 per year, while part-time staff would have received $2,250 per year. And again, this coming in light of everything teachers have been dealing with, really pre-pandemic. Before the pandemic, teachers were going on strike across the country, and then, as we know, the pandemic did not make that any easier. Actually exacerbated any issues or any problems that the teachers may have been facing. And this stipend was supposed to help, but a lot of teachers are quite upset when they looked at their bank account and saw the actual amount that they received. Again, full-time staff was supposed to receive $4,500 after an email, or as been laid out in an email sent to staff on Thursday. Those full-time employees only received $873 of the $4,500, and also part-time employees only received $490 of the $2,250 that they were supposed to receive. So again, why such low amounts after being promised a different number, different figure? Well, apparently the mistake was how IRS is viewing the stipends. Again, IRS considers these stipends to be supplemental income, almost like a bonus, which apparently has a higher deduction. The district, on top of the about 41% that was taken out for taxes and retirement reasons. Again, the district itself takes about 10% of the employee stipend for retirement as well. And again, that's quite a substantial amount of the check being garnished or taken away. Michelle Settlemeyer, who's the president of the Omaha Education Association, said that you're looking forward to your $1,500. You think 20-30% will be taken out. A lot of people were planning accordingly for that stipend. The stipends for full-time employees, again, were reduced just over 40%, man. So it's quite a bit. It is. However, that's not the tone that we're hearing from actually some of the service unions. Um, Steve Owens, who's the president of Service Employees Union, who supports, like food service, custodial, office, transportation staff. He's basically saying they should be happy that they got anything at all. He says, I've been at OPS for 34 years and I've never in my years gotten a quote unquote free check ever from OPS. Not anything outside of a $150 gift card. People are getting 873 and 490, and they did not have to be given at all.
That's hater talk.
It is a little hateration going on. Again, the stipend money did come. These are funds that come out of COVID-19 relief funds. The allocation plan was also adjusted in March to include more initiatives focused on staff. So again, 72 million went to OPS. Actually, 280 million went in federal funds went to OPS for COVID-19 relief, and again, about 72 of that will go to the stipend program. So again, this is money that has to be spent anyway.
Quite ridiculous.
Thoughts?
Yeah, thoughts. Give us some thoughts on that in the chat. I'm a little perturbed by it. That's pretty messed up. The IRS. So the IRS is if you get a bonus check, they take more taxes out of that because it's supposed to be they look at it like free money, like this
Right.
hateration dude just did, which is ridiculous. It's real dumb. Like, just pay the teachers. What's wrong with y'all? I don't get it. Yeah, man. We'd like to hear from you in the chat. In the meantime, we got some good mornings. Von Chapman gives us good morning with some sunshine. Appreciate you. Also, Black Dynamite says good morning, y'all. We got some new names in here. Lanessa says good morning. Appreciate you. Raina Williams says good morning with some sunshine. Kimmer Snipes, are you in the house? Because I've seen something that Vicky Young is replying to you for, but I haven't seen any of your comments come in yet. I don't know if we're reading you in the room. So you might, how Facebook gets weird. You might have to go out and come back in and sign in through the main page, and maybe we'll see you then. Mama God says good morning, fam. Paul Philman says high percentage of students in OPS impacted by poverty, high demand on teachers. He says Voices for Children release of Nebraska childhood poverty data next week. Spoiler, not good. So,
and that's really what I want to get into, because these teachers, they live in these communities as well. Right. And these teachers aren't just teachers. These are the same citizens that's struggling to get a livable wage, to pay for housing. And again, these are teachers, so they can't really get like a second job. Like, it's very time consuming to be a teacher, to put together these lesson plans, to check on students, engage with families and parents, to buy supplies. Like, it's a lot to be a teacher. And the fact that they were, again, as the Settlemeyer woman said, they were making plans according to the money that they received, and to make plans, expecting one figure and to get a figure that's substantially lower than that. I honestly believe that this is going to have an opposite effect, where this stipend was intended to support, embolden teachers, kind of motivate teachers. This might be another reason, like, teachers like, man, see, this is why I don't want to do this.
Gotta be out.
This could demoralize them even more.
Christy North says, but a lot of them work a second job. So, like, imagine having a full-time job as a teacher, not making enough, got to get a second job. I mean, it's messed up. Pop says, I wish the IRS did something to Trump so he would sue them and keep them tied up in court for the next 10 years. What this reminds me, though, that Biden just dumped a whole bunch of money, gave a whole bunch of money to the IRS. They'll be hiring more people and doing more audits, messing with us a whole lot more. So,
oh yeah, definitely for them PPPs.
Yeah. Paul Philman says San Francisco helping teachers get quality housing to support them.
Yeah, we actually talked about this. I believe it was like Michigan or something that it was reported earlier this year that a school district in that area, I think it was either Michigan or Ohio, somewhere in the Northeast. Basically, the school district invested in a whole apartment building for their teachers to move into. So yeah, it's, again, man, why can't we just pay people a livable wage to actually be able to afford things that are just in the market? What's going on to, and I've seen like memes and things on social media where it's kind of comparing, like, I think it said, I want to say it went back to like the 60s where like the average income was like $800 or something, and it's pretty much the same. Although, housing has just quadrupled and gone up 7-8 times, and just inflation is going crazy, but the amount of money that people are making is not changing at all, and that's across the board. So
I was thinking about Kimmer and asking about if she was in here, because she's the one that is hipping us to the fact that there's so much money in OPS that
part of the
it's like
city.
a whole city, and there's even money that goes to police and everything that comes out of that budget. So again, it's like this matter of whether or not people are feeling like teaching in the profession and teachers are valuable. And obviously there's some kind of permeating feeling in this country that they're not, because they really don't want to pay them. They don't want to pay them enough to really do the job. Like when teachers got to come out of their own pockets to buy supplies for their kids, for their students, it's messed up.
See, this is my issue with capitalism, man. And it's not the fact, well, a part of it, part of my issue with capitalism is the fact that, the little man usually gets taken advantage of. The person on the bottom of the totem pole, if you will, usually gets gets it the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest issue with capitalism is, no shots to the LeBron Jameses and the professionals out there, but these cats making 190 million, 280 million guaranteed. I think, some football player just received like $230 million guaranteed over the course of 4 years. But we have teachers, we got teachers not making money. We have politicians only making $12,000 a year. Like the people who actually make the country run getting the short end of the stick.
It's a way that everything has to be monetized. Everything has to have a bottom line, and so like you see all these weird things like that, like like decisions that are, everything has to be, they have to have a bottom line. They have to have a situation where they are figuring out how to make a maximum amount of money with minimum input. Like all these weird capitalist ideas have to play out in ways where we have situations like this, where we have like teachers that are not valued enough to make a living wage all across the country. Like in public schools, we need to look at some numbers for private schools. We need to look at some numbers for charter schools, see what those teachers are making. And if it's different for public schools, and there's a correlation between like how many kids of color go to public schools. There's a distinct correlation. I do remember hearing about teachers that left public schools in order to go to other kinds of schools in order to get a higher paycheck. So,
that
but
was a
those
part of the mass exodus,
right? Part of the mass exodus. So, yeah, man, it's just it's only we're talking about public schools, we're talking about public funds, and we're talking about why they can't get a budget together that would give teachers a livable wage. It's just beyond me. But again, let us know. Rum's Review says athletes get paid because of the fans. I'm not a fan. No jersey, no hats, no tickets. Yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it. There's a serious machine that's rolling there for sure. Pop says teachers have always been my heroes, and they should be making more money than most professionals are making. They are professionals,
right?
Especially these days, you got to get your master's degree pretty much to be a teacher in certain realms. So like they are professionals. That's my point too. Like you cannot just come out of high school and be a teacher. You got to go to school for that. Like you got every teacher got student debt.
Man.
So
well, I just not to mention the debt and the financial aspects, but just the safety aspects. I mean, taking consideration school shootings. Let's be honest, man. Guns are more plenty nowadays than even when I was in school, and I was just yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So, it's very dangerous out here to be a teacher as well, man.
Yeah, man, that's real. Chrissy North said the NFL is a nonprofit.
I did not know that. That is very surprising, but it makes sense.
How does that make what? How does it make sense?
Just the structure. It makes sense. It just makes a lot of sense when you think about it. These ball clubs and how they're structured.
Oh, I gotta look into this. That's crazy.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I think most sporting leagues or nonprofits.
Really? So they can just get, so they're just getting money from. Okay. Yeah, I like to look into that. That's really interesting. I had no idea that that was the structure. Pop says right there, professionals, but need to be at the upper pay levels of for professionals is my point. Talking about teachers. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Black Dynamite says there's absolutely enough money out there for nobody to have to struggle, but there are so many corporations. People are out for themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're out
man.
for that. They're out for that bottom line, man. That's just the nature of capitalism. Even if they're not doing it on purpose, this like in order for your business and things to thrive, somebody got to lose. That's what capitalism is.
Right.
So yeah, further on this, definitely want to talk about this more. So everybody who is listening to this particular thing and has something to say about that, let us know. I feel like what needs to happen is that especially OPS, somebody, Kimmer got me on this. Somebody needs to look at that budget and somebody needs to
Man.
rearrange some things in a big way. Bonus, we knew when they were talking about these bonuses that it wasn't going to be the thing. It's not sustainable. Number one, and on top of that, here we are now reporting that they didn't even get what they were supposed to get. Who got it? The tax
The
man got
IRS. Uncle Sam. No relation.
it. Paul Philman says lockdowns common in many OPS elementary schools. Lockdowns.
Yeah, that's actually where I wanted to go. Again, on top of not getting paid anything, on top of having to buy your own supplies, not really getting any support. Again, it's dangerous to be a teacher nowadays. It is dangerous, and now it is being reported that 2 guns were found in OPS schools. Well, in 2 different OPS schools. A student at Omaha South had a gun on the school's campus. This reported by KETV just this Wednesday. That's according to a letter that was sent to parents of South High students. And then also Blackburn High on Tuesday reported that a gun and 2 knives were found in the student's car after they investigated a verbal threat that was made to another student. Again, at South High, Principal Jody Pesic said staff did intervene and took the gun from the student. The school then worked with police and the OPS staff to ensure the school remained safe. And then also Blackburn did go into lockdown, as Paul Philman just mentioned. The classes did continue as normal while the school was on lockdown, but again, it was on lockdown.
What does
So
lockdown mean?
all exterior doors are locked and no one is allowed to go in or out of the school at that
Put
time.
the chains on them like
Yeah.
Joe Clark.
Man, chain it down, chain it down. But shout out to Brother Von Chapman who dropped a um very interesting post and comment on the Friends of First Sky page, just kind of talking about the guns and crime that's been going on. Actually been hearing firsthand about what's happening in Omaha right now, some of the shootings that have happened recently, just hitting close to home to some people that I know. And Brother Von Chapman said, is this why children are carrying guns to school? Probably. When you build so-called affordable housing, ignore all the reasons for crime and poverty for decades, change the rules and definition and priorities for how, when, and where TIF should be used. This is the result. And it continues. The city, county, and state's solution: expand the draconian juvenile justice center, build more prisons in a race to the bottom. Nebraska, you've won. You're now number 1 in the nation in prison overcrowding. Like GBR, Nebraska is not even trying to get better. Why? Because there is more money in the treatment than there is in the cure. Damn shame.
Yeah, it's rough, man. We've had some killings. A 19-year-old died recently. Another 19-year-old got shot last night. Not knowing the status there. There's well, Von Chapman is saying in the chat too. He's saying the decades-old disproportionate relationship between childhood poverty and crime are on full display in the black-on-black murders in North Omaha. And that's what's happening right now. In some respect, the lack of priority regarding poverty is the reason for these murders and therefore, city of Omaha, county, and the state are directly responsible for these murders for not prioritizing the reasons for poverty. Yeah, I mean, that's we it was we knew this from years ago. I mean, these studies about the poverty crime situation has been going back for years and years and years. It's not new information. that in places where you have high poverty, you're gonna have high crime. And so, doing something about the poverty instead of always trying to put a band-aid on the crime situation seems like it make more sense for sure. But that's not really how things go, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a tough situation, man. There's a lot to do, and it feels like it's gonna be long term. It feels like it's not gonna be short term.
Oh yeah.
You're trying to pull a area out of poverty. That seems like it's an endeavor that's going to last a while.
And actually, we might be going in the wrong direction. If the Herbsters and the Ellen Pillins have their way again, they're leaning into less gun control. They're leaning into making it easier to get guns on the streets.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it firsthand here in Georgia, man. Like I said, there's guns everywhere, and now, gang activity is getting crazy. There's plenty of rappers getting wrapped up in RICOs. A lot of investigations going on here. I mean, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and more guns on the street don't help at all.
There's more guns now than there was when I was coming up, man. In the '80s, when they were actually flooding the hoods with guns.
Yeah, man. I've actually heard some stories about that, and on several occasions, like military crates full of weapons just popping up in alleyways in Chicago and Detroit and things like that. It's that's a whole nother conversation.
Paul Philman is talking about the Heckman curve. He says earlier, you invest in children, the bigger the return. Some information there on a link that he put in the chat there, so definitely check that out.
Never heard of that.
It makes sense. The earlier that you invest in kids, like everybody's always trying to reach them after something that happened, after it's too late. Yeah, man.
After they're traumatized.
And it's no accident that we're talking about this right after we're talking about like what's going on in schools, because I mean that's where schools reach the kids early, and if school ain't right, then you're just not, you're not. The majority of their day is being spent in a situation in an institution that is not serving them the way that they need to be served and invested in the beginning. And especially, and it's infuriating when they're sitting over there on so much money that probably could be, the last three things that I've been involved with outside of our organization has been situations where where people didn't have the experience to budget the money that was coming in right. And it's a thing. It takes a lot. It takes expertise. It takes discussion. It takes a lot to figure out. First of all, it takes priority, and for you to decide what the priorities are. For you to take a budget, bring some money in, and decide like what's important, what's it gonna go to. We could, if I took a look at the budget, I bet you I can sit there and be like, they don't need to be spending money on this. Not in lieu of not paying teachers. We already talked about, like, immediately when they made this announcement they were going to give these bonuses, we're like, that's not. I mean, what's that going to do? Here's a goal.
Just for 2 years,
right?
Yeah. But you remember, I think they just OPS just signed a multi-million-dollar contract with the Omaha Police for their guard services, their in-school officer services. But there's teachers leaving because they can't get paid. There's issues with transportation. Yeah. I would like to see. I got some questions. That's all.
Well, Steph, last comment. Paul Philman says University of Iowa Hospital investing support to poverty impacted mothers.
Okay. We actually have some news about some other support programs coming up that we'll get into a little later on in the show. But let's wrap this up really quickly with a more positive story. Speaking of people investing into the youth, big shout out to our own, the legend herself, Amber Ruffin, and her sister Lacey Lamar. Can't forget Lacey. Again, Amber Ruffin, going around investing in the youths. Just spoke at the Lunch for the Girls, the annual Girls Inc. fundraiser, which is hosted at Omaha's CHI Health Center. That went down just yesterday, and actually it was a pretty good turnout, man. It was reported that about where's the number? I don't want to fudge the numbers up or
whole lot of people.
Yeah, hundreds of people. We'll say that it was a pretty good turnout. So big shout out to everyone involved with Girls Inc. Again, Emperor Ruffin was there to talk about racism, actually, which again is kind of the theme of "You'll Never Believe What Happened to Lacey," which are crazy stories about racism, featuring stories from Amber Ruffin and her sister Lacey Lamar. But during this conversation with the girls at Girls Inc., she says, make sure to speak up as much as you can without putting yourself in danger. Of course, Ruffin grew up in the Benson neighborhood with her parents and her sister and their 3 siblings. Was actually the first Black woman hired to write for a late night talk show when she was hired in 2014 on the Seth Meyers show. And now her sister lives in Omaha, and Amber travels the country giving talks on racism to young people and others. She actually had a 25-year career in healthcare and human services before that. So shout out to Lacey again. But yeah, this is a big thing. She says, Amber Ruffin says, I love this opportunity to talk to these little babies because it's tough out there, and I want you to have this info. She told the girls that racism and sexism accelerates when you join the working world. She encouraged them to enlist the help of others, to build a team around you, and have the confidence to say this sucks. She says structural racism is a huge beast, and it wants to hurt us. Again, together, Ruffin and Lamar answered questions from the girls and had a pretty good conversation. So again, big shout out to Amber Ruffin taking some time out of her busy schedule. Again, as Paul laid out, got a lot going on this weekend, but taking time to invest in the youth.
Always do. For those of you who don't know who she is, I mean, I know that I'm probably preaching to the choir here, and everybody on our, listen to us knows. But Amber Ruffin is in a Lacey Lamar from Omaha, and Amber is a comedian. Went out to New York, really kind of pushed what was going on with her career there. Ended up doing some really huge things, like Buddy just mentioned, first Black writer on a late night talk show with Seth Meyers. She's also very famous for that Drunken History series that was on Comedy Central for a while. She was one of the funnier actors there. And then now she has her own show, and it's the Amber Ruffin show is on Peacock. I believe she has some NBC time slots now too. So she's a huge star, and always brings it back home to Omaha. And that's why she's here. She's here really trying to give back to what's going on here in Omaha, which is very admirable. Lacey, her sister, still lives in Omaha and is very active in things here as well. So now they are New York Times best-selling authors with their book. You won't believe what happened to Lacey. Crazy stories about racism, and they're already working on book 2. Book 2 will be out pretty soon as well. If you haven't read this, you have to read it. It's really interesting. I've sat with them on several interviews now where they're just like, there's people who used to work with Lacey that are like, is this me? Reading about ourselves in this book. So, and it's really, this book has really taught me about identifying microaggressions and writing stuff down that happens, man. That's a way. First of all, it's a way for you to calm down, not be so mad about it in the moment. Just document what happened. But a lot of times those documents will come back and are very useful. So very much encourage everybody to take a look at that book, read it, check it out. And then also, while we're talking about it too, that event with the happy hour with Amber Ruffin is happening. That is tonight from 5 to 7. This is the one that Precious McKesson was talking about here. So you can donate and get a signed Freedom poster. Also donate 50 or more and get a signed copy of the book. First drink is on Precious, he says. So definitely check that out at the Highlander Accelerator. That's over there on 30th Street. You know what that is. 75 North. 2112 North 30th. Am I saying that right? 2112 North 30th Street, Suite 201. So definitely check them out tonight from 5 to 7. Go shake their hands and support. They're here and doing work, and they're here just Amber comes back in town just kind of hang with the fam and relax a little bit. But every time she's back, she's on some kind of circuit where she's trying to help out the situation. And I got one more thing to say. I wanted to say before we get off this subject. Where the boys think at?
It's a good question.
It is a good question. They get the Amber Ruffins and they get the Michelle Obamas, and the Girls Inc. get a whole lot of high level. Yeah, where the Boys Inc. at? I'm just leave it there at that. Miss Erica Felt finally is okay. So now I'm seeing you. She said young children are supposed to have emotional and physical development nurtured before heading to 1st to 12th grade. Kindergarten is still optional. They can't develop appropriately when there is a fear of violence and hunger, when their caregiver, parent figure is ever changing, when they don't know where they are going to sleep. Young children thrive on routine. Address poverty. Thank you for that comment from an
Yeah.
expert in childhood, in child care, young child care especially. Interesting stuff that you're bringing up here. Is you're very right. It makes so much sense. Routine for young folks is really important. And if you don't, if in poverty just makes it so everything is up in the air all the time. Where you gonna sleep? Who's around? Everything
Yeah.
that's happening. You got to address the poverty part. I appreciate your comment. Thank you very much, Miss Erica Felt. And I'm glad to see you back up chat chiming as well. Appreciate you.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
shout out to Michelle who actually brought that to our attention when she broke down her whole education platform that she wrote for that candidate running in Ohio, and explained to us that the early development, which actually changed how I parent and teach my children. Early development really relies on just social engagement, and less history, math, science, and things like that, and more emotional, physical, and social development, things like that early on. So big shout out for that comment. Appreciate that.
She's also said Boys and Girls Club. Boys and Girls Club do those kinds of high profile speakers and stuff like that.
I don't know about that. I know they do they do programs, they do events, sporting, leagues, take kids on field trips. I was a part of the Boys and Girls Club at multiple points in my life. I'll say the Girls Club Girls Inc. is kind of a different beast. They have a little more,
there's a lot of money behind it.
And a little more different. It's a different programming. Like I've been a part of like teaching STD classes at Girls Inc. Through Omega Sci-Fi, and talking about sex ed and things like that. My wife used to teach classes through Heartland Family Services and Noah up there. Like they have a lot of those types of programs available. I don't know if Girls Inc. or Boys and Girls Club does that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I from what I see, there's a lot of money behind Girls Inc. A lot of like you said, a lot of programming, a lot of programs that help them get to the next level and big up the I love the program. I love it. I'd like to see something for young Black boys in North Omaha that's equivalent to that. There might be a lot of other programs and stuff like that I'm not aware of, but I'd like to see something on the level of Girls Inc. That would be awesome. Brooke gives us a good morning. Also, Marianne Williams says, morning. Good morning to you too. Was looking for a good read for the weekend. Thank you. Yes.
Check it out.
You got it. This is a must read right here. You got to check it out. And if you've
Yeah.
been living in Omaha for a while, you might even recognize some. They changed all the names to protect the guilty, but you still might be able to pull some clues out on who they're talking about in this book, which is really awesome. The next book that they're coming out, they actually got some stories from other people in Omaha, including like Michelle Claire. They hit me up for some stories, so it's the second book is going to be awesome as well. But definitely, you have to have that the first one. That's just legendary. And New York Times bestseller. They're really killing the game right now too. So
yeah. And you pull up to the Highlander tonight, you might have an opportunity to, get you a signed copy. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Right on. We'll take a quick break, man. It's already 7:50, 7:49, if you believe in the concept of time. We do have some special guests coming on. We want you to hang tight because we will be talking to the senators, Terrell Mckinney, the brother senators, Terrell Mckinney and Justin Wayne. Put some respect on their name.
Hey.
Really, yeah, man. We gotta get busy and
dynamic duo.
Dynamic duo. Have some serious discussion with them. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you. Shout out to Star Trek Rich and the Weatherized crew. Always got our back. And shout out to you, the Chad Chimers. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you. What's going on, y'all? Appreciate everybody that's jumped into the chat. Don't forget, if you're just joining us, we will be having special guests, Senators Terrell, Mckinney, and Justin Wayne on the show to clarify some things and really kind of get into this discussion about the ARPA funds and everything else. Shout out to Precious McKesson who put that together. And can't wait to talk to them about some things. In the meantime, though, it is about 7:51 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, that is, it's once upon a time called right now is really what it is. Buddy, what else we got to talk about today?
Man, let's jump into some politics really quickly. This is a story that we've been watching closely. Of course, talking about Mayor Stothert's battle with the city council and the whole beef over this proposed change to give Mayor Stothert power while she's out of town, which she currently is right now on vacation in Italy, if I'm not mistaken. But the Omaha mayor said the city council took a partisan vote, throwing shots at the council this week after the council again refused to sign off on the measure, which eventually would have allowed the mayor to remain in power when she's out of town, or any future mayors for that matter. Again, the vote went down 4-3 on Tuesday, which rejected the amendment and blocked it from going to the ballot on November. Again, there was that controversy surrounding one of the council members' votes, saying that he basically voted in error, and now Stothert is pushing back and chiming up, saying the amendment I propose is not about me, personal time off, or working remotely. She says the amendment modernizes a 65-year-old charter to acknowledge advances in communication technologies. Again, Stothert, who is currently on an Italian vacation, has been criticized for taking a large amount of time off, and definitely during interesting haps in the city. I remind you that Mayor Stothert was out of town during the Crete fire that took place. I believe she was also out of town during a flood recently. And now 3 News Now has previously reported that the mayor will actually have been out of state for 42 working days by the time she gets back from her Italian vacation. And out in Italy, chilling, but missing work apparently. Again, 42 working days that she would have missed. And council member Vinny Palermo argued that his constituents have universally told him that they don't want this amendment, saying that very few items did I hear 100% on, except for one, saying that this, almost none of his constituents wanted this amendment. And then also Denny Begley pointing to a few Republican governors, actually Ted Cruz and Gavin Newsom, the former left Texas when they had a massive power outage. If you remember that big power outage that went in Texas that left most of the South in the dark. And then also Ted Cruz was heavily criticized for breaking. Yeah, exactly. Send his wife, send the daughter, the whole fam. Like, go ahead, go get up out of there. Again, breaking his own COVID guidelines. So a lot of chilling on the job.
Yeah, man. I'm all for remote working. That was part of her argument, is that in this technological age, it's not like I can't do stuff from my phone and my computer and my laptop.
FaceTime and Zooms and things like that.
45 days is kind of a lot of days, though, and I don't know how much governing. I don't know how much marrying you're doing over in Italy, but I think it's just interesting that she's trying to blame this on partisanism, like
partisanship.
Like they. Every time there's something that they band together as a party so hard to vote something down, it'd be like all the Republicans voted no on this. Like they do this mess all the time, and then when something doesn't go her way, then all of a sudden it's the Democrats are doing that too, right? This is a partisan thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's I just wanted to just make a comment on that, just update everybody on. We've been talking about this situation with the mayor and this particular thing that happened in the charter. And last we talked about it, they took it away from the vote in November. The people couldn't vote on it no more. So and so the next bit of news here is they took it away, but they also they voted against her being able to do that. So now she's talking about she's just backlashing on stuff, and it's just interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is interesting, but I will say I have to agree with her last statement in this article, saying it's time for this to end and focus on issues our citizens really care about. You know, the fact is, you got to stay here. You got to be here to be the mayor to do the work. So
yeah,
you know, and you know, we're streaming live. We can broadcast just about anywhere, but you know, I don't know how easy it would be to mayor from, you know, remotely. Like, you kind of gotta be on the ground.
Von Chapman says the mayor is not only out of town, she's also out of touch with the problems and the people.
That might be the bigger issue.
Erica Fell says you have to be in the city to govern. IMO. It's not a remote job. In my opinion, it's not a remote job. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, definitely not a remote job. There's some things you can do remotely, but govern the city, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like Dynamite said, that's the 165-year-old charter you want to stand up against. Yeah, right.
What about those housing covenants? Let's talk about that.
How about that? Paul Filman says, I am not on an Italian vacation.
There you go.
Neither are we, bro. Neither are we.
Yeah.
Moving on, 7:57. If you believe in the concept of time, thanks for joining us. Everyone in the chat, thanks for chiming up. And I see that people are sharing the show too, so I appreciate that. If you're on Facebook, do us a favor, share the show so we can get as many people talking as we can. A few more minutes left before we have our special guests. The senators come on. So before we do that, you want to jump into something else real quick and something that we can wrap up here really. They should be on in about 3 minutes is the time frame here. So we'll see if that happens and we get that going. But let us know. Let us know what you got on your mind. Also, don't forget we're having extensive haps a little later on in the show today. So get your haps together. Lots going on this weekend, man. Like too much going on.
Eventful weekend, especially tomorrow. So but I guess before we break off, again, just a few minutes left in this first hour here for another hour. I definitely wanted to dive into this next topic, and actually one of the chat chimers mentioned that our next guest might have some input on this, talking about the announcement from Correction Services Director Scott Frakes, who announced during a press release just yesterday that he will be resigning after just 7 years with the agency. His last day will officially be October 7th. Also, State Fire Marshal Chris Terrell announced that he will be resigning as well. His last day will be October 14th, just a week later, again, after Scott Frakes. And all of this is a signal of the light at the end of one tunnel. Again, we're not quite sure what other tunnel we're going to be getting into, but all of these resignations are a signal that, again, the Ricketts administration is coming to an end.
Think so?
Yeah. Again, we'll have a few minutes left. His term limited. The Ricketts administration has until February, if I'm not mistaken, to kind of wrap up their last, agenda items and things like that before, whoever wins in November. Hopefully, it's new blood. Whoever wins in November will take over after that. But yes, the Ricketts administration has until February to remain in control.
I feel like he's been doing some work, trying to get people in place for his exit. But we'll see.
Oh yeah. Actually, to that point, Governor Ricketts will be announcing an interim director to replace Scott Frakes and Chris Terrell. So both offices will have an interim selected by Governor Ricketts. Of course, Governor Ricketts is giving his kudos to Scott Frakes, saying Frakes was brought in to quote unquote transform Nebraska's corrections department as a part of Ricketts' cabinet. According to the release, Frakes has moved forward major capital construction projects, dramatically grown our corrections workforce, and guided the agency through the challenges of the coronavirus pandemic. His automation of the sentence calculation process is one of many data-driven improvements he made to the department. That's according to Governor Ricketts in a press release. He also did not list a reason for either of the resignations, but again, they come as the administration enters its final months. Ricketts is barred by term limits for seeking a third term as governor, and as I mentioned, his administration is relieved of duty in February.
Interesting stuff. We will be talking about this. We want to put it out to the chat what your thoughts are on some of these issues as well. And as a matter of fact, we got our special guests in the house. We're going to bring them on and hear what they have to say about some things too. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the brother senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne are in the house. Put some respect on their names. How y'all doing this morning, brothers?
Doing good.
I'm doing well.
Brother Wayne, what you got going on in the background?
Yeah, I like that background.
That's the Kilimanjaro over in Africa, Tanzania, that I climbed last year.
That's
okay. You went up that? You went up that?
Yeah, we went up. We went up there. It's about 5 of us other senators went up there and decided we was going to climb to the rooftop of Africa. So it was pretty cool.
Man,
I gotta say, man, there's 4 brothers here. 2 of these brothers been to Africa, 2 have not, and we are trying to catch up to y'all. We got some things to talk about today, but we need to have you back just to talk about them trips, man. We need to hear about.
Yeah,
that's really real. That's really real.
Yeah. Big shout out to Noise for writing that article about brother McKinney's trip to Ghana, definitely. But I would love to hear from you as well. As it just how impactful those trips were, but. Yeah, we're not here to talk about that.
Set us up, man. We trying to go though. That's for real. For those of you who don't know, this is brother Justin Wayne and brother Terrell McKinney, senators here in Omaha, Nebraska. For those of the ghost listeners and people that don't know, we've been they've been on the show before. They're friends of the show, and we really appreciate them. We call them the dynamic duo. They are in the house doing some big things. One of the things they have done is work some ARPA funds into North Omaha, which is a beautiful thing. Of the hundreds of millions of dollars that are coming in a big way, and we've been talking about it. I know that we have talked about this for a while now. We wanted to give the senators some ideas of what we thought that some of that money should go to. We tried our best to come up with some things. We come up with a few ideas here and there and pass them along, but we get real far into the weeds when we get to talking about this, and so we want to straighten ourselves out with the right information and really kind of talk to the brothers about exactly what's happening here, what we can do, what our part is, and so on and so forth. So without further ado, without any too much getting into it too much, I just want to make sure that I got the brothers here, that you guys are willing to talk about these things with us and kind of give us a little overview on where we're at and what we need to straighten up as far as information is concerned. Brother McKinney,
there's so much going on, and at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is have the most transparent process and get the most community engagement that we can get in. I just want to put this in. We've got $370 million coming from the state of Nebraska. That's the largest investment that the state has made into North Omaha. But I need the people to understand, while that's a lot of money, over the last 3 years, between OPS, Douglas County, and the city of Omaha, they all received over $700 million in the last 3 years. And so while we welcome the criticism, we welcome the critiques, we welcome all the ideas, let's not take our eye off the ball of what happened to the $700 million that was already given, that was supposed to go to North and South Omaha. What are we actually doing with that? So I just want to put that out there, that we're fighting, and we're going to keep fighting for our community, but let's just remember the context of all of these dollars coming into our community and where they should or shouldn't go, and where they did and didn't go. And I think that's important. The second thing is we're going to start community engagement September 19th. We put a press release out. I'm going to pull it up here on the internet to make sure I get the dates right and locations right. And that's for the community to come in and tell us more. But not only that, we've actually are paying architects and engineers and city planners to have stations down there. So if you have an idea and you want to build something on a lot, or even if you don't own a lot, you think it's a good idea, we're going to have professional services down there to help you flesh out what that idea is, so you can submit it and we can have a conversation about it. So if you can't afford an architect, engineer, some of those professional services, doesn't matter. We want to hear everything you have, and we're going to help you flesh out those ideas to make sure we do what's best. Now, a little background on 1024. This is an economic development and wealth building bill. And I think people need to understand that we're not saying that social programs aren't important. We're not saying that crime prevention is not important. We just said at this level, what we're doing is we're trying to focus on economic development, and we're trying to focus on wealth building. And those are two different strategies. Economic development is about income. We got to raise our income. We got to make sure people have good paying jobs. And so we're going to recruit businesses. We're going to do things to help bring those jobs to North and South Omaha. So we're building an airport park district that's going to be geared towards businesses who are providing $50,000 job a year jobs and above. So the wealth building, is Senator McKinney has always said and held me to the fire, is we can't earn our way out of this wealth gap. Individually, you can get a good job and kind of close that, but as a community, we can't just earn our way out through income, this wealth gap. So how do we create wealth? That's through small business, that's through startups, that's through entrepreneurship, and that's through helping people own land. And so it's about helping people buy homes. It's about not just buy homes, but it's about also helping people who have an idea of how to start a company to have a service that will allow them to walk them through the process of starting a company. And so we put $30 million behind Senator McKinney's bill, which is the iHubs, the innovation campus, where we're going to start this campus that if you have an idea, it doesn't matter how crazy it is, you think it's an idea, we're going to help you and have an organization help you walk through the not just getting your LLCs, but how do you proof your concept? How do you bring it to market? How do you sell your concept? And so those kind of, we're going from start to finish about closing the wealth gap and closing the income gap with those two different strategies.
What's up? That's what's up. Brother McKinney, can you tell us a little bit about this program that he's talking about?
So it's the so my priority bill last session was LB 450, which was the Innovation Hub Act. And what the vision behind the Innovation Hub, as Justin was saying, was to have a space in North Omaha where if you're looking to get in business, you go to the iHub and get, whatever information you need. If you need to learn how to manage your books, get access to some accounting services, some legal services, and things like that. But also the other component to the innovation campus innovation hub is to change the mindset within the community and bring more of an entrepreneurial spirit within North Omaha, because I think that's what's missing. We have a lot of entrepreneurs, but I don't think we've ever fully focused on building up our entrepreneurs and our small businesses. And I think that's the reason why so many of them come and go as much as they do, because our community as of now has never really focused on building up our small business and entrepreneurs. We always talk about supporting Black businesses, but we always talk about spending. What about, supporting Black businesses and making sure that they got their books straight, that they're managing things right. They're doing all the back end stuff that help them become sustainable. It's not just about giving a dollar, but it's also making sure that they have structures set up so they can survive. And that's what I hope that the iHub will do, is spur some innovation, spur some more Black-owned businesses within North Omaha and small businesses so they can be successful. Because honestly speaking, I know like lately everybody been talking about what's been going on in the community, and they're like, oh, we need more money for crime prevention, and what are we doing to reach the youth? In my opinion, it's just my opinion, I think if we begin to address poverty, a lot of this stuff will go away. Not all,
Yeah.
you never can erase everything, but the core of most of these things is a lot of people are living in poverty, growing up in poverty. And with poverty, you have a lot of generational trauma and things that lingers and have lingered for generations. And that's what we need to focus on. And it's not just about giving X amount of dollars to just run a program that's going to need money the next year. How are we create some sustainability so we don't have to go to whoever they is and say, hey, can you support my program? Why don't we build the dollars so we can support our own programs?
Yeah,
man, that's huge. And I will speak to just supporting and the importance of that small business class. Definitely living here in Atlanta, I'm not saying we should go and start a bunch of clubs, but there's a group of minority, club owners, restaurant owners, small business owners who then turn around and they are the ones who are paying for these candidates or these campaigns. They are the ones who are supporting these council members, and you see the impact. You see some of the laws that are passed and some of the support that these business. You see the symbiotic relationship between having viable business, small business class in the community, and not the Kiewits and the all these major corporations, but a real viable middle class small business class. And I think what we've seen in Omaha is we kind of skipped that step, and that's why the car Eastmans didn't get to where they were trying to go. because we don't have that. So I'm definitely excited to see what you guys are putting forward in building this small business class. And I'm kind of curious, where in the process is this iHub? Have you found a location? What is that looking like?
I think we like our locations, but really, I mean, people are going to apply for it. It's going to go through DED, and they're going to have their criteria and evaluation. Those applications are due November 1st. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be multiple organizations applying for it to try to get that. But what we did say is that $30 million can only be spent within 2 miles of the airport area. And so we try to make sure that nothing against UNO, nothing against Nebraska. I got my Nebraska shirt on. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, we don't want this to be on a college campus. We don't want this to be out west. We want this to be in the community, that the community can access to change that entrepreneur spirit we think it needs to be increased in our community.
Yeah, definitely. The people need to see it. It's a lot of hopelessness out there, and a lot of people, especially youth in the community, feel like the only option they have is to find a job, and then how many jobs are really hiring people that look like us. Let's just be honest. Also,
I like to see this idea too. I've been in Omaha since 2010, and when I first got here, I saw a lot of money being thrown to various nonprofit startups and also other business startups, and that's the one thing. There was no sustainability there. Even with First Sky Omaha right now, bro, we're talking to the tax lady now, trying to get our stuff straight. Like everybody needs this kind of education. So I'm glad to see that this money is not just being thrown to other businesses that'll fail in a year, but also some infrastructure to try to help that. We always talk about how there's not enough infrastructure and industry here in order for you to sustain things that you need to sustain. So I do see that a lot. I consider myself an entrepreneur and hang out with a lot of entrepreneurs, and we all are struggling with like the things that we need to learn about how to grow the business, how to scale, all these things. So really happy to hear that this hub is going to happen for sure. And also just to switch gears just a little bit, you've been talking about this airport situation, and I know that we kind of have said there's money that's going to the airport area, but not really clear on exactly what you guys are planning on doing in that area. Could you give us a little more clarification on that?
Sorry about that. Yeah. So we haven't picked an exact location, and part of the problem is if you pick exact location, every homeowner and every business owner down there, their prices are going to go up. So right. we know generally we want something within 2 miles. And again, for our focus is, and how we got there really is part of our Africa trip. I was calling Senator McKinney while I'm on the mountain, and we're talking about locations and politics and all those things. And this is just my view. I view 24th and Lake as a historic, cultural, and almost a nonprofit service district. Like it's a historical, arts and cultural community, and I don't want to change that by bringing 1,000 jobs down there and putting a light manufacturer in and think that just doesn't sound right. And when I think about 30th Street, I think it has a lot of potential, and I think there's just such big push for housing in that area. I didn't want to disrupt that market. So the reason we picked down by the airport is because logistically, you have rail, you have Stores Parkway right there, so access to the interstate. So you can bring in light manufacturing jobs. You can bring in chip manufacturers. You can bring in, we have a company right now called Pacific Engineering, who's a federal contractor who wants to build a 100,000 square foot facility down there to help do some more precision type engineering and construction. They do kind of composite things that are really fascinating. They got government contracts. So they want to take those kids from North and give them jobs coming right out. And so they're like, we're already in. Just you find us the location, we're building. And so those are the kind of jobs we want to bring. But I don't think plopping that down on 24th and Lake, this big warehouse facility, sounds right. I don't think popping that on 30th Street when they got all this affordable housing. So we were literally looking at a map. I'm in Africa and Senator McKinney, and I'm like, I think we got to do something down here by the airport. And that's kind of where it happened. The city has done study after study in this airport area. They just never pulled the trigger. And now it's time for us to pull the trigger for jobs in North Omaha.
I find it interesting. We've been asking the question about, what is 24th Street? Is it a nonprofit hub? Is it this and that? But the way you kind of laid it, I appreciate the way you laid it out, because just from a city planning perspective, it makes sense. Like you can't jumble, you have zoning for a reason. You can't jumble things in a certain area. And I could see that future of North Omaha, or that vision where we have, our cultural hub in 24th, we have housing along 30th, and then we have jobs closer to the airport. So that actually clarified things a lot for me personally, hopefully for a lot of the viewers out there. So I am curious to that, what types of obstacles or what types of things is needed to bring and entice major corporations and manufacturing jobs to that, area. Well, like what types of things are they looking for?
I saw Precious comment. No, we downtown is just a little bit over 2 miles, Precious, from the airport's front door. So we measured it pretty closely. The biggest obstacle, honestly, is us. This is going to be the hardest conversation right here. But the hardest conversation is we're not perfect. This is our part-time gig. Yes, we went elected, but we still got to make a living. We only make $12,000 a year down there. So I still have my full-time job, and Terrell's still working. So our communication through this whole process isn't perfect, but we're trying, and we're trying to do as much as we can. But what I mean by us is the internal fighting of 24th Street needs the money, 30th Street needs the money, this nonprofit needs the money. You're not helping this, and I'm saying we got to look overall. How are we going to plan? Because we only get one shot at this. If we don't do this right, the legislature will never invest. They'll be like 30 years from now, they'll say, you remember when McKinney and Wayne put that money down there, and it didn't solve anything. It didn't change anything. We ain't doing that again. This ain't like everybody else who gets multiple chances. This is it for us. And so it's going to be us not coming together as a community and us fighting each other who's going to make this the biggest obstacle to recruit people.
It brings a lot of questions, man.
Go ahead, let's have it.
Well, I mean, so we're talking about fighting, but is that you're saying when we have these meetings with like the general public, for instance, or organizations that are coming and saying, I mean, I can see each organization coming and saying we need money in this area, or we need money in that area, or we need money in this industry. And it feels like there's enough of it to kind of go in several different places. Who ultimately is making the decisions on where it's going to go? Like how the fighting can cease as soon as somebody says this is what we're doing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. So we're actually giving feedback. I think today's the last day from the committee on the criteria and guidelines that we're going to put out to the public, hopefully on Monday or Tuesday, that outline strictly kind of our evaluation process. And what it's going to be is transformational, life-changing, wealth building, and economics, right? That's our focus. And what I mean by what the biggest problem is if we know we're working on X, income and wealth building, again, I'm not knocking you for saying you're a nonprofit and you want to do affordable housing. That's fine, but that's not the lane we're in. And the fact of the matter is the state, underneath Senator McKinney and me, we've put more money into Omaha affordable housing than the city and county has in the last 5 years. We put not only $8 million a year into affordable housing, we put another $20 million in this year. So we're at $28 million, and the city only put $20 million in this year of ARPA dollars and do not have a sustainable fund every year of at least $8 million like we did for the city of Omaha for affordable housing. So we're doing our part of our affordable housing, but we got a lot of people saying, well, you're not giving us any more money for affordable housing, so we're just going to walk away from the whole process. And I'm saying we need you at the table because we're serving the same community. And what we're saying is in order for people to afford a home, they got to have good jobs.
For real.
So that's what I mean by fighting. I mean by people just walking away because they're not getting it. And so while crime prevention is important, we still need you at the table because we see good economic development as crime prevention. So don't get mad and walk away from the table because we need all of us to come together to change North Omaha.
Exactly. And I would say people have been trying to do crime prevention since the 90s, and it hasn't worked because I was having a conversation with somebody at North the other day. And I was like, one of the barriers to getting kids out the streets or stopping them from, selling drugs or something is you got to provide an alternative opportunity. You can't just go to those kids and say, hey, stop selling and get off the streets. That just don't work. Go to them and say, hey, I know you're making whatever amount of dollars a month doing what you're doing. One, it's not safe. You're going to end up in jail or dead. But I got this opportunity that at least matches what you're making, so you don't have to risk your life. That's what we got to do. Crime prevention can't be, hey, let's get a bunch of people together and walk around the streets sporadically and not reach these kids, because this is a whole different generation, and just saying throw money at crime prevention and do these one-off programs just don't work for these kids. We gotta, I work with kids, and one of the things they always talk about is, I need a job, I need money, I need that's what we got to do.
Yeah,
and
man.
It won't be always perfect. It's gonna be some that fall through the cracks. But the strategy we've been taking for the past 30 years is horrible, and it's not working. When I go down to NSP, I see a bunch of kids, or used to be kids, that come from our community. So, people like to say we've been doing all these amazing things for years, but the bottom line is, when you look at the numbers, nothing has worked. And that's just being honest.
So, I'm going to give you one quick number if I can, sir. So there is a census tract in North Omaha where we have physically put over 150 million in the last 8 years. In 2000, they were at 40% poverty. At 2010, they dropped down to 27% poverty. We started investing in that community after 2013. That census tract now in 2020 is back up to 41%. So it isn't just throwing money into an area and building affordable housing. It's about the economics behind it. And that is a very hard conversation for people to understand. Like we were talking about entrepreneurship. That's a very hard conversation unless you go to Atlanta and you see the Gathering Spot, or you see the Russell Innovation Center, and you actually can put your eyes on it. Because in Omaha, you can't imagine going to a spot where you can have some lunch and you open up the back door and it's 50, 60 people sitting in there just networking in an open working space. Like, we don't even have that in Omaha, black or white. But just imagine 150 black people sitting there. We took a group of engineers, the consultants, down to Atlanta and showed them these places. And they were like, we don't have nothing like that in Omaha for white people, let alone black people. So they were just Senator McKinney, I can't want to call you Terrell, but I mean, the feedback from that Atlanta trip was they've never seen nothing like this before.
Yep, it was like, wow.
Man, I mean, living down here, it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing, and that's why I bring up that example of the importance and the role that that class plays, because there wouldn't be no gathering spot if we didn't have the class that we do here in Atlanta, and would love to see that in Omaha. Just got to figure out how to make it happen. And I think you guys are on the right track, though. I do think you guys are on the right track with some of the ideas you're putting out. You talking about
the business entrepreneurial class that we need to be building here in Omaha as well. I feel you on that. I want to jump in the chat real quick. There's a couple things I want to address. Precious says someone needs to be in the room and fact checking each organization that comes in asking for money and reporting who is already funding them. I think that's very important. Von Chapman brought up a good point. He says, can that money be taken back by Republicans if not used timely in the Republicans' Take Back Congress going forward? The question is interesting to me right now, because when we had Precious on, we were politicking with P the other day. It was kind of framed. This is money that was raised. You guys did this program, raised these funds, but it's going to be doled out or controlled by the governor. Is that false? Is that fake news? How does it work?
So anytime the legislature passes a bill, the separation of powers, the governor has to implement. So we are running everything through DED right now. I think what we've learned so far with this first 20 million and 60 million is we're going to have to write the bill a lot more tighter going next year to make sure there's not a whole lot more discretion. Not that they're doing anything wrong right now. I think they're doing okay as far as trying to put the programs together. But as we start talking about getting into the weeds of some of the things that we're discussing, we got to make sure, like the iHub, 2 miles within the airport, like we're gonna have to be that specific. And so, but yet, we appropriate the money, but it goes through the governor to distribute. That's just the way it is.
Okay. Well,
so can we take it back if we don't use it right or something happens? Can he divert those funds somewhere else?
No, not at this level. I will say the reason why part of this 300 million keeps changing in numbers is because we also put in the bill that any other money that's not being used by the government goes into our fund. So we're hoping to grow to 400 million over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did hear that part. One more question in the chat. Brother Valentine is asking what data has been acquired from the residents of North Omaha as to what specific industries they are wanting to be employed in. Is that something that has been discussed yet?
So there is our consultant. It's kind of funny because as you know, North Omaha has been over surveyed, over planned, and over
studied.
So, what Senator Mckinney and I did is we just went through the last 30 years of plans, and we didn't reinvent the wheel, and just took that data. And so there are some key industries, but the thing that we're focused on is income levels of those industries. So it doesn't make sense for me to invest in a company who's going to pay $11 to $13 an hour, because then those people are still living in poverty. So we're trying to raise that bar to say, how do we bring at least jobs that are paying $50,000 a year?
Okay.
What are some of those industries? Because we've been trying to, whittle some things down here on the show. Do you have like a list of industries that you're looking at?
Light manufacturing, so and distribution. So you can think anything from UPS distribution centers to light manufacturing of like prefab homes, prefab walls. Industries like Logiers who do manufacturing. How do you expand those? But the big focus that we're kind of gearing in on around this iHub is just tech in general. Like we gotta upscale our tech. There's with the U.S. chip manufacturing bill that just passed through Congress, there's a lot of money around. There's like 53 trillion or some crazy billion number, some crazy number. But there's a lot of money around R&D, around about just advanced technology, and we as a community aren't producing enough tech people. So if you know how to analyze data, and there's $100,000 jobs a year, and so just bridging that gap too.
That's what's up.
Man, I'm all for the coding. I like coding and those tech jobs. I've seen something talking about making Omaha like a Midwestern Silicon Valley. I don't know how what those conversations are, how you call wind of those conversations. But I mean, you have Facebook data centers, we have Google data centers. Are those level jobs? Are they interested in coming into the airport park, or what is that looking like?
Yes, we are having those conversations with multiple companies. I think we've termed it, Senator Mckinney, correct me if I'm wrong, Code Black. I know that's a little nonprofit organization here with David Pollock. So we might have hijacked him, or maybe we'll just sit down and bring him in. But it's about accruing this talent that we need to have. But so we are looking at those kind of things in those businesses. There are a lot of businesses in this space saying, we need to figure this out with the diversity and inclusion piece going on right now. So I think it's a huge time. But what we've been saying is we don't want to be the next Silicon Valley. We've been saying we want to be the mecca of entrepreneurship and tech in the Midwest.
Whoa, okay.
That's huge.
Silicon Valley just sounds too San Francisco, too not like me. So we're gonna be.
I feel it. We need a little more flavor. I like it.
I got a question about well, first of all, it's 8:29 if you believe in the concept of time. If you're just joining us, we are on line right now with brother Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne. Put some respect on their names. We've been talking a lot about what's going on with the ARPA funds and some other things. And we really appreciate everybody who's jumping into the chat with questions. Please go back and look at those questions. I'm not going to be able to read them all. One thing I did want to get to, though, Brother Wells Lavelle in the house. I appreciate you chiming in this morning, brother. He has a very important question that I feel is a great one to ask before we get to the next segment here. And that is referring to what we were talking about earlier, all the infighting. What does coming together look like? So how do we work that? How do we come together and not fight and really kind of get somewhere with this?
Coming together is putting your ego and your differences to the side and for the benefit of the community. That's the biggest thing. We as if we call on ourselves leaders, we can't have infighting and then be wondering why there's shootings every day in our community. It starts from the top. We got to come together and put our differences to the side and say, okay, maybe I don't mess with him but I believe in what he's trying to do. And if I can help assist what he's doing, maybe that'll have a residual effect on what I'm trying to do over here. And maybe, yeah, we both got the same program, but if we come together, we both could take advantage of an opportunity where one of us, we're not just getting crumbs, but if we come together, we could get a whole loaf and really take advantage of an opportunity to help better the community. But that's that to me, that's what it means. It's putting differences to the side for the betterment of the community. We can't keep saying we love the community, we fight for the community, but we divide it. We got to change that, especially for our youth.
I will say that from an Omaha perspective, or just from an Omaha perspective, we've seen that a lot, and I would like to just challenge the community. Let's just be honest and candid about how North Omaha, and just speaking from experience, kind of works. Like, we've seen a lot of times when organizations or people have the same ideas and we don't work together enough. Kind of speaking of what we see here in Atlanta, not just having the small business class, but there is a lot of collaboration between those small businesses, and there's just an overall general sense in this community of working together and togetherness and sticking together that we don't see enough in Omaha. So yeah, I would like to just put that on the table. We've seen a lot in like nonprofit organizations and businesses where people not working together, starting their own thing that's doing the same thing that the other people are doing.
And I want to put you on the hot seat with that real quick, if I can. I want to hear about. Can you give me some examples of something that's going on right now where some organizations could be working together, but they're not, or the one could be supporting the other. Like, I want to hear about. I want to hear. Let us know, because that's, you give us the general. We can put the ego aside, and we can work together and so on and so forth. But give some specific examples about what's happening here. If you can do that without getting yourself in trouble, please, I'd like to hear that.
I guess, for example, we got multiple organizations that saying they're doing crime prevention in North Omaha.
Okay.
But when I talk to each one of them, they saying one organization is doing something wrong. Some people ain't really out here. People doing but they not together. But we got this whole problem that's going on in the community, and we got all these fragmented entities that aren't coming together, but talking about we're trying to save the kids.
Right. That's what I wanted to hear about right there. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Another one is that we wrote a bill. In this bill, we put $3 million for each year for internships and crime prevention. And the way the bill was written is we said a nonprofit. And we did that on purpose because we don't come together for serious dollars. It's easy for me to say we're going to give it out to nonprofits. And what will happen is DED will just give out a whole bunch of $10,000 grants, and we just keep working the way we're doing it, right? And I said a nonprofit. But after the meeting that they had with DED, my phone's blowing up. Senator McKinney's phone's blowing up and saying, well, why are you making us pick one? And I said, we didn't. We making y'all come together.
I like it. That makes good black sense to me, brother. I'm with that all day long. I like that.
Seen it firsthand. Too many organizations fighting and scrapping and clawing at each other and kind of watering down their own mission to fight over these $20,000 grants. So I'm all for that. I'm all for that. Bring them together. And
here's the reality. If I call this, I've been saying this for a while, this is our Maynard moment. And I remind myself of Maynard Jackson in Atlanta and I've chalked this up that after this process, I'm gonna get ran out of Omaha. I just chalked it up to that because that's what happened to Maynard Jackson. Maynard Jackson, and for those who don't know, Maynard Jackson was the mayor of Atlanta in the 70s to the 80s, and he took the Jackson airport and put it on hold for a year and a half and said, weeds will grow if Black folks aren't a part of this project.
Right.
And he wanted 35 to 40%. They ended up settling around 25%. But that is that spurred this Black entrepreneurship, Black wealth in Atlanta was this one project. And afterwards, he got ran out and couldn't even get a job. They had to go to Chicago and then came back for the Olympics because they needed Black folks to bring the Olympics in, and then ran him back out again. And so, but that one particular $500 million investment is what created the Black middle class that's there today. Prior to that, Black people had 1% of the federal contracts and city contracts in Atlanta. After that, they were up to 40 to 50%. And so that's how I'm viewing this moment is if we can create 15 to 16 black and brown millionaires out of this little bit of money, this fundamentally changes Omaha's trajectory. Now, we talked about politics being able to write checks. We ain't talked about the nonprofits being able to write checks. Who can we call? We can't call right now 10 to 12 people and raise $100,000 for a nonprofit. We should be able to in 2022. And that's my point. That's why we're focused on businesses. We got to change the outcomes by creating wealth in our community. And that's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. Here's again, I'm going to tell you a secret out here that if you go and look, the money we got is not, while it's transformational, it's a drop in the bucket. Nonprofit foundations for the next 10 years, funders are going to have to spend anywhere from 600 to 700 million each year in Omaha. And that's going to go up as more people pass away and their wills go into and funding goes into more, or money goes into more foundations. So this is our Maynard moment. And if people need to Google Mary Jackson and figure out how hard it was, because that's the hard conversations we got to have. We got to tell people, hey, while I like you as a person, you are not a good businessman. And we need you to take your skills and trades of being a carpenter, and we need to partner up with this guy over here who has a little bit more skills than you and can help train you. I know y'all don't necessarily get along, but for this project, y'all gonna have to be friends. And y'all gonna have to come out here and work together so both of y'all can get a bigger chunk of these dollars. That's to me, when the questions that coming together, it's not just nonprofits and community leaders, it's businesses. It's contractors, it's everybody coming together saying, we all got this little area that we do well in and things that we don't do well in. How do we come together and make sure when we bid on a job, we can do the whole $40 million project, not the $10,000 drywall?
Bro, that's heavy, but that's it. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Living here in Atlanta, seeing it firsthand, as far as the Maynard Jackson, having to fly through the Jackson airport, multiple times. Like I've seen it firsthand, and it's real. It is a real way to build wealth in the community, and it's not just up in the air ideas like we've been hearing, concepts over the last years. These are real concrete plans.
I want to put out there just as an example of being in solidarity with what you guys are talking about. As for Sky Omaha, if you guys see ways that we can partner with other organizations, we are fully open to your guidance on that. We come from this whole idea that there's enough out there for everybody, and we're never in competition. We're in collaboration, and we constantly strive to do that. So if you can see from the outside areas where Black media can come together better, we're all the way down to be a part of that and support others and so on and so forth there. So hopefully a lot of people who have other businesses and other things that are going on that are listening right now, follow that. Let's all do that so we can try to come together in a better way and really not squander this. Brother Wayne, when you have your Maynard moment, where are you moving to when they run you out of town?
I'm moving to Africa. No, but it's just the reality of where we are. And so I saw in the chat about the disconnected from the philanthropic and priorities in Omaha. I mean, these are the rough conversations, and I think Senator McKinney, just being 2-3 years in now, is like, man, I don't know if we gonna survive this. I'm like, we ain't, because we're having these tough conversations with the money folks, with the community, saying we appreciate you, but do you feel like that you are changing Omaha? And when we start looking at it, they're like, man, the data maybe not, but Justin, this is our pet project over here. We really want to do this. And I'm like, that's not making a dent in it. And then feelings get hurt, and there you go.
Wow. Some feelings need to get hurt. You need to get things done, not coddle feelings.
Got to. Coming up on 8:40 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning. I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd. We're in the house with brother senators Justin Wayne and Terrell Mckinney, dropping some knowledge on us, man. We got want to, if you don't mind, we want to keep you on just a couple more minutes, but just only to give you the last words on where it is that you think we need to be pushing, going, where we need to really kind of push, and the next moves. You looking at comments over there, brother Wayne?
Oh yeah, just checking them out.
Yeah. Please go back and check out the comments. I usually try to read them all, but everybody's chiming in pretty hardcore this time. Yeah. So we'll go back and talk. We appreciate everybody doing that, trying to get to as many as we can. But give us some last words on some advice on where we need to go next. On everything that's going on, and then before you leave, I kind of want to. We just learned about like these positions pay like $12,000 a year. You guys got to have extra jobs and do all these other things you're doing in order to even make things happen. So, kind of want to get a final word on your self-care routine and how it is that you balance everything that you guys do with having 5 jobs like they do down near
5 jobs, man.
So, brother, give us some last words if you wouldn't mind.
I guess my last words would be, number one, for the public, make sure you come out to the public hearings. North Omaha, the first one is Wednesday, September 21st at 5 p.m. at the TAC building. Then the next day, Thursday, the 22nd at 11 a.m. on Metro's campus. South Omaha starts on the 19th at 11 a.m. and Tuesday, the 20th at 5 p.m. Both will be at Metro's campus in South Omaha. And why I say that, because I think it's very important for the public to come out. I know a lot of people got questions about where the money is going, who's going to get this, and all these type of things. This is your opportunity to get a better understanding of what is going on as far as the process. For the last couple months, I've seen every crazy story there is, and a lot of it wasn't true. And I just would tell you, if you have a question or you hear something that may seem out of the box, reach out to us. Don't just let crazy rumors fester. If you even got a question and you feel like we're not answering what you've asked, reach out, ask that question. If you feel like we misleading in some type of way, just ask us. It's better to ask than to just go around spreading false statements and stories. But overall, make sure you come out to the public hearings. And as far as self-care, started classes again at Creighton for law school. Been busy doing that. Been spending a lot of time with my family lately and just trying to stay balanced, kick it with Justin and some other people as well. But that's the biggest thing for me.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate that.
Man.
This is the public hearings you're talking about right here, right? The dates, Wednesday, September 7th.
No, that's the turn back.
No, that's the turn back tax.
Oh, my bad.
I'm sharing the
He's too
hearings.
busy. You know what I'm saying? McKinney.
Oh yeah. Are you still coaching?
All right, cool.
Yeah, I still coach too.
That's what I'm saying, man. They doing so much. Here's the flyer for that. North Omaha, Wednesday, September 21st at 5 p.m. We will definitely put this on Friends of First Sky Omaha so that you can take a closer look and download that for yourself. Let's keep these dates in mind for sure. And we appreciate that, man. We'll definitely pass that around. Make sure that we get as many people that listen to First Sky Omaha in the room for sure, because we're trying to stay as informed as possible. Brother Wayne, well, give us some last words and some advice on how you balance everything going on in your life.
My life, my family's going through a little bit right now. So folks out there, if you believe in prayer, say a prayer for my family. Some people close to me know what's going on, and I appreciate people not talking about everything going on health-wise with my family. For me, it's just getting up and taking a walk every day, and then just going to work. And I think for me, what's kept my mind sane is that once you come to grips with this is your Maynard moment, and you say you're willing to die on the sword for change in your community, it kind of just puts you in a different perspective of, I got to let things roll off my back and just keep it moving. Like I have 2 years left. I'm not running for nothing else. This is it for me. And this has probably been the hardest lift that I ever did. I thought passing the bill would be the hardest, but it's talking to so many people in the community. And it's not that we're trying to ignore people, but every organization wants to meet. Every person wants to meet. Everybody who has a vacant lot wants to meet and say they can do something transformational. And we trying to get to everybody and talk to everybody. I do want to clear up some confusion about who Olsen is. We had an RFP process for architect, engineer, and community engagement. We told multiple people to reach out to architects and engineers and find out who's bid and do some strategic partnerships. We picked Olsen because one, they were locally, but they kind of did what we talked about and what we've been talking about. They brought a brother in from Atlanta who has his own engineering firm who now opened up shop in North Downtown. He wanted to go to North Omaha, but part of this infrastructure problem is if if you want office space in North Omaha, it's damn near impossible to find. So we got to build that out too, right? We just basic infrastructure space. But this brother is bringing his whole company up here. So now we got a black engineering firm. And so like that stuff, that was big to me. And they're doing everything. They're like, well, we don't understand what an iHub is. We was like, well, we need to take a trip. They booked a trip and they went down with us. It's like, oh my, and so they're doing everything we asked. So I have no problem. And I think Olson's bending over backwards to make sure this is successful, because this is kind of a big deal for them, not from a money perspective, but they staking just as much as we are on this process. Because we got to go back to the legislature and say, here goes the process, and here's what we found out, and here's where we put in the rest of our money. But the biggest thing is for the community to understand is we can't earn our way out of this wealth gap. It doesn't do any good to tear down the projects and put up new projects. It doesn't do any good to build a bunch of affordable housing if people can't afford to live there. It doesn't do any good for us to continue to focus on jobs that are going to be in West Omaha and we don't have a transit system to get us there. So we're saying we're going to try to eliminate much as we can from that conversation and build jobs and facilities right here close to North Omaha, which is around the airport park. And we see that transportation, rail, Storage Parkway, the airport, all those kind of transportation infrastructures gives us the hope that we can create this economic hub around there. And then from there, we hope people can buy jobs, people can buy houses. If they can't, we're going to have an iHub who can help lend money, who can help finance, teach people financial literacy. That Senator McKinney passed that bill too on financial literacy. So we're trying to put all these pieces together, and we're going to try to concentrate those resources into North Omaha. So it's a huge lift, and I'm just asking the community, like Senator McKinney said, to come out, tell us everything, because we're looking for that one idea. I have a vision of what I think Omaha looks like, but I could be wrong. So I need to hear somebody say and challenge me on what it might be. So don't be afraid to challenge us. Here's all I ask. Call me and challenge me. Don't put me on Facebook and then say, how come I'm not responding? I don't even know what you're talking about in that context. Call me and let me understand what's going on. I've had the same number since 1994 when I was at Northwest High School. So people know me and know how to get a hold of me. So just call us and talk to us, and we have no problem doing that. But the biggest thing I need the community to understand is we cannot earn our way out of this, out of our problems right now. We got to generate some wealth to change our problems right now. If you got a good paying job, you got a schedule. That means you ain't out on Thursdays at Johnny T's or Dina's till 2 a.m. because you got to get up and go to work. And when you got a good paying job, guess what? You're going to take your kids to the movies and take them out. Maybe take them down to Kansas City Worlds of Fun, because now you have extra money to spend things on. Now you're talking about rebuilding the family unit. We can't earn our way out of these problems. We got to generate some wealth.
With that, brother, I'm a soldier though. I go to Johnny T's in the night and get up in the morning.
Me too. Me too. You know what I'm saying?
I know it was gonna let you go, but you brought up something that I gotta address, brother. Do you have a succession plan for when you leave?
Yes.
Please tell me that you got somebody in mind. We need that seat still. We need to, you know what I'm saying? And if we can come up with somebody or help that process, let us know, bro. But you see what brother Ernie Chambers did with brother Terrell McKinney. We need a succession plan.
I got an idea. I don't know if and I'm gonna say she is gonna announce yet. So I have an idea, but it's a lot of work. I think people think it's just about going down there and playing political games.
No games.
What I hope I've been able to help Senator McKinney navigate is you got to see the whole board. We got this 300 million. I mean, we got 370 million because we saw the whole board. And there were some votes that people don't like that we might have took, but that votes don't hurt our community. That's the political noise. That's the political noise. But for us, it was about building a coalition. And when you build a coalition, there's going to be things that you might not always agree with, but you keep your eye on the prize of how are you going to transform your community. You don't have to sell out who you are, because there's some things, McKinney and I were sitting in the room like, nope, non-negotiable. Can't even have that conversation. But there's other things like, okay, how does this affect your community? How does this affect, is it affecting mine? No, it's a Western Nebraska issue. Okay, don't really bother me, so I don't really care. But are you going to support us when we need you to support us in North Omaha? And those nuances is going to determine who I'm going to support at the end. And I think there's a couple people who understand that, and I think one has expressed some interest in doing it, but that's up for her to announce, and then we'll make sure we build a team around her.
Okay,
we behind.
Let us know how we can help.
Brothers Senators Terrell, Mckinney, and Justin Wayne, put some respect on their names. Much respect for you guys coming on. And
real quick though, brother, this is probably the best interview I've ever had from all the media, and I don't have media everywhere. So y'all need to put some respect on your name. This is one of the best interviews, bro.
Hey, appreciate that.
We've been working hard, bro. We've been working hard. Yeah. That's for sure. But yeah, man, much respect for that, and I really appreciate that. I'm sure everybody in the chat, I'm just giving you guys props too, man.
Yeah.
And you know, it's always a pleasure when you guys come on. We will definitely have to connect real soon again, and do this another time. So and anything we can do to help, bro, spokespersons, you know, help give us the information and we can disseminate some of that out. I mean, whatever it is that we can do to kind of help this process, we're all for this money coming in North Omaha the right way and building up the Black community. That's what we're all about here. So anyway we can help, let us know.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Right on. Have a good one, brother. Peace,
brother.
That's what's going on. That's what I'm talking about right there. Hey, brother Senators Terrell, Mckinney, and Justin Wayne, put some respect on their name. Shout out to them. First Sky Omaha Radio, bro. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Put some respect on our names.
On our name. That's what's up. We'll be right back. We're going to come back with the Hap. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha Radio is going down.
Hey.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd. Shout out to Precious McKesson for facilitating the brothers Senators coming on today. Very great interview. I'm very hyped about what's going on here, and I feel like there's a lot of good information that's flowing now. We're getting closer to being able to figure out how we can work this situation out and really bring that money to North Omaha, man, make it happen. So shout out to them. Shout out to Tony Vargas, who's holding the South Side down in the same way. Carol Blood, man. Shout out to Megan Hunt. Shout out to everybody who is behind bringing this money to North Omaha, and especially special shout out to the brothers Senators Terrell, Mckinney, and Justin Wayne for heading this thing up. And like he said, this is the one he's gonna get run out of town on. So that's what's up, man.
The Maynard moment. I like that. Man, get in some good trouble. That's what we need. Some leaders who are willing to get in some good trouble. And as he said, man, jump on that grenade, fall on the sword, if you will. Just put in the work. But I will say, cautioning to the listeners out there, to the community, let's not just, put it on their shoulders. Let's not just rely on them. Like they said, let's all come together and make this happen, man. Teamwork makes the dream work, and we will all be better off for it.
That's what's up. Well said, buddy. Well said. In that we only got about 6 minutes left in the show. 6 minutes, buddy. Fresh and on. Let's get going on it. All right. So it's time for you MCs to give us the info on what's going down this weekend, what it is that you guys are doing. There's definitely so much to talk about here. It's really kind of ridiculous, buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and let you jump in because I gotta flip through some things to figure out what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, while you get that in order, I'm actually kind of two-parter, kind of a lightning round, kind of a haps, just letting the people know some things going on financially in the community around the country to look out for. Big shout out to Bank of America. They started a new trial program aimed at helping first-time home buyers in Black and Hispanic neighborhoods by offering mortgages that don't require down payments, closing costs, or minimum credit scores. Again, no down payments, no closing costs, or minimum credit scores. This is a program that will start in Dallas, Detroit, Los Angeles, Miami, and Charlotte, but undoubtedly will expand after its pilot round. So definitely look out for that. Bank of America Corporation is behind this. So again, yeah, that's a huge thing, man. Hopefully that finds its way to Omaha. That'd be nice. Yep. And then also shout out to all my HBCUs out there. Byron Allen just struck a deal for major broadcast, so that's happening. Again, HBCUs getting some love on CBS. They will be streaming their sporting events. So again, shout out to all my HBCUs. Yeah, you know what it is.
Shout out to Byron Allen. I'm gonna be like, "What's up, cousin? What's
man,
going on?
hey cousin, hey, yeah, man.
Go ahead, bro. So, also, just to let people know, this is going down today too. Of course, Amber Ruffin, Omaha's own Amber Ruffin, is in town. Her and Lacey going to be down at the Highlander Accelerator. This is the event that Precious McKesson was talking about right here at the dining room there tonight. This is the 5 p.m. through 7 p.m. Go on and get the book. Go on and donate that $50 and get a signed copy of Lacey and Amber's book. It's a best-selling New York Times best-selling book, all about what goes on in Omaha, and if anything, man, it'll teach you how to really pay attention to microaggressions, and to so that you don't feel like you crazy when racist stuff goes on like it does around here. So that's what's up. Definitely check out the book, or
if you're guilty of microaggressions, just stop it.
A lot of people been reading it. This is me they talking about.
Yeah. Just stop it.
Definitely check that out. Amber Ruffin is in town, and she will be at the Benson Theater as well, bro. It's going down on Saturday night. Omaha Comedy Fest is happening. Actually, Omaha Comedy Fest started last night, so this is a 3-day event that's going on. Tonight, there's going to be some events there at the Benson Theater as well. Where's that? I'm Mom So Hard. I'm Mom So Hard is going to be. They're doing a podcast in there. So there's that's going on tonight. But tomorrow night, it's all about Amber Ruffin. She's going to be hosting an event with some other comedians at 6 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock she's doing the King of Kong event there as well. So it's called what's this called? The King of Kong musical parody that she's doing there. So some funny stuff. There's already tickets out there right now. They're going fast. There's a lot of people that understand that this is Amber Ruffin we're talking about. Come on out. You're going to see some serious comedy. So Comedy Fest is going on now. Like I said, it started last night. It's going to the 4th. Definitely check them out, omahacomedyfest.com. You can go to bensontheater.org and buy your tickets for Amber Ruffin coming through. So really appreciate that. Also, we did not get Calvin on this today like we expected, but this is what's going on the 3rd as well. Jaquise and Carl Thomas is going to be on for Music at the Mall. That's happening tomorrow. As you can see, it's one of those major events that we get maybe about once a year. So definitely check them out. Yeah, man. White Rhino Productions get down. So they're making it happen right now. You can go to Eventbrite for the tickets. Also, they got a phone number here for you to talk. If you need to ask some questions, 531-772-0842. Definitely check out Music at the Mall with Jaquise and Carl Thomas if you're so inclined. Beats and Sheets karaoke is going to be there, and also Our Style, which is one of our favorite bands around here, man. Our Style is always down. That's the Unks right there. The Uncles be getting down. Yep. So that's what's going on tomorrow as well. So much happening on the 3rd. It's hard to even. There's just a lot going on, man. There's a lot.
Don't forget Afrofest Omaha going down tomorrow, September the 3rd as well. Yes, that's going down at Stinson Park, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. There's going to be live performances there as well. Also, food sampling stations. There's going to be merch giveaways. There's gonna be a hood sommelier there. I didn't see that, man. Get you some whiskey tasting going on, of course, as long as you're of age. But yeah, they got a hood sommelier. I like that. man, come on.
Sommelier with wine, so this cat's doing whiskey tasting.
Yeah. Come out, support, have a good time, celebrate the cultures. Again, Africa is a continent, very diverse cultures, heritages. So definitely come out and support. Have a good time.
Yeah, man, it's got to go down. So we'll put the rest of it, everything else that's going on here in the Friends of First Sky Omaha. So much going on this weekend. Got to figure out what you want to do. If you guys want an example of how to work it, first of all, I'm going to go to get some sleep.
Hey.
tonight because that's what's really going on. And then yeah, Brooke, you're right. There is one. I was just trying to find that one because I just pulled. Oh, there it is. That's
Is that the
one
Love 'em?
right there. The Love 'em Festival is happening. Yeah, Jazz Festival happening. That's at Turner Park. It's free. This is the Hollins Corporation. We've worked with them before in the past, man, and they've brought out some major artists and a very good organization to be supporting. So definitely check out the Love 'em Jazz Festival that's also happening tomorrow, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'm gonna have to get up, man, go early to the Afro Omaha Festival. Maybe stop by Turner Park here. You know what I'm saying? We got to plan out the day. You got to plan out the day. Get some rest tonight. We'll try to hit it all tomorrow. That's what it is. So shout out. There's also Benson First Friday that's going on tonight too in the Benson area. They're also featuring the art of Josh Otis. He's the artist that hooked up the Benson Theater. And if you go there and see how beautiful that situation is, it's because of this artist right here, Josh Otis, and he's going to be featured at Benson First Fridays tonight. It is First Fridays, and a good time for you to kind of get out and go walk around, check out the art in town, and see what's going on. And if you wind up at the Benson Theater, there will be the Comedy Fest going on at the Benson Theater to end your night. So lots happening this weekend. See if you can get out and get to some of it. I'm looking in the chat now to see if anybody else has any other. That's right. Precious said the Love 'em is run by 2 Black women. Yep, that's exactly right. A very good organization. Like I said, they were one of the first ones that really kind of helped us to get our advertising situation happening over at Mind and Soul. We used to promote their jazz festivals every year. So I'm glad to see that they're still doing it, and love to support them. That'd be great. And it's a free event, so definitely check it out. I'll put that back up again. The Love 'em Jazz Festival. Where is it at? There's so many things. Here we go. Turner Park, 4:00. Go check them out. And check out hollandscorp.com too. See what kind of business they got going on and stuff that they do. They spend a lot of good money bringing out good artists every year for this little jazz festival they got going on. So check them out. And it is now 9:02, man. I got to say, you got one coming up here?
Yeah, just one last one. I got this from Senator Terrell McKinney's Facebook page. Shout out to him. This Sunday is also a few events going down. So if you want to continue the festivities, the Untamed Summer Community Engagement event that's going down this Sunday from 4 to 7 at the Bryant Basketball Court and Youth Center. That's right there on the Deuce, 2422 Burdette Street here in North Omaha. There'll be free food, mentors on site, guest speakers, community resources, vendors. So definitely come out, check it out. Going to be talking about mental health and things like that. So yeah, definitely important event to support in the community.
That's what's up. Thank you for joining us. A really great day. I'm so happy that our brothers, Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne, came on the show today. They're right. It was a really great interview. We got a lot of good information. Definitely go back and check the interviews out again. If you missed any parts of it, you can go to the Facebook page or the YouTube page and check out the older shows. So if you missed part of that today, definitely go back and check that out. Very important information that was given about these ARPA funds that we've been talking about regularly here on the show. And the brothers came on today and laid some facts out. So we really appreciate them for that. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Man, as always, we appreciate, we love, and we thank all the listeners, all the ghost listeners, all the first-time listeners, last-time listeners out there. We appreciate you. The show would not be the same without you. Again, this is a conversation platform. So please continue to let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Again, chime into the chat, or even if you're a ghost listener, just continue the conversation with your loved ones. That's a really important part. Big shout out to the dynamic duo, Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne. Please put some respect on their names, doing the work, man, having the hard conversations and trying to get us all moving forward, man. So with that, Paul B, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, appreciate everybody that's joined in as well. Hi from Zane. Hey, Zane, how you doing, buddy? Might see you out there at that Jazz Fest now that I know you guys are going to go check it out. We'll see what's happening. Appreciate it. Pop says, powerful show. Yep, respect on your names. Love you guys. Have a great weekend and see you Monday. Appreciate that very much.
Thank
Pops. Erica Phelps says, incredible show. Thanks to the senators and thanks to y'all for facilitating it. Drink water, direct your dollars, do your health checks. Be good to yourselves. Be good to yourself too, Miss E. I'm glad to see you up chiming in the chat again. So really appreciate you and thank you very much for you getting up and participating today. That's really awesome of you. Lots of people that are thanking us for the show today. I can't find them all. I'm trying to go back. Mama God says, love you, man. Love you too, Mama God. Appreciate you very much.
Hey.
Paul Philman says, Doug Cole, prison interview. Definitely we want to get Doug on. Appreciate you reminding us about that, Brother Philman. Thank you for joining us. And Mama God says, put some respect on First Sky. I appreciate Brother Senator Justin Wayne saying that. That was what's up. Definitely a cool thing.
Yeah.
Got wind that I've been. I saw a post a little earlier today that I wanted to bring up here. Now that they have put new signs up, and they said, and the post read that this is the correct way to say. Well, I say Omaha tribe elders every time. I don't know if I'm saying it right now that this has come up. So if Miss Petto is in the house, or if Wells Lavelle is there, let me know if I'm pronouncing this right and help me get the right pronunciation, because I want to give respect to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. I want to give a shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. Shout out to our special guests that came in the house today, and shout out to you, the chat chimers, everybody who makes this show what it is. Really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for that. It's all about you. Thank you. And thank you for all the reoccurring sponsors of the show too. We have $10 people, $20, $25, $50 supporters that are reoccurring members of the channel, and we really appreciate that. We can't do this without your support as well. So if you are inclined, please go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the donate button, and help us keep this going. And in the meantime, 9:06 is probably the latest we ever been. We appreciate you hanging late with us and apologize for the lateness. We'll let you get on about your day. Whitney Richardson says, y'all are amazing. Glad you're getting your flowers. I appreciate that, Miss Richardson. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Marianne Williams says, have a great weekend, guys. You too. Y'all have fun. Be safe out there. Remember, COVID is still there. So really kind of take precautions. As a matter of fact, they're talking about asking people to do a whole nother booster shot. So it's still happening, and just take care of yourself. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Do all the stuff so that you can stay safe. But have fun. There's a lot going on this weekend. So with that said, just want to say you guys have a great one, and take care of yourselves. And we'll be out of here. We'll see you Monday. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red, the